Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about how to perform a self-portrait. Yes, using a Sony ZV-E10 to take a portrait photography with yourself. And before we start, I need you to prepare 3 equipments. The first one obviously is our dear ZV-E10 with the 16 to 50 kit lens. Today we are going to use the kit lens to perform this self-portrait. The second thing, yes, obviously we are going to need a tripod. It is important because we don't have our friends here. We are only alone out in the outdoor. We want to take a portrait. And what about the third items? It is our smartphone. Of course, you can do a self-portrait with the first two, but with the smartphone, it is much more easier. And also, you need to make sure you have the imaging app installed on your smartphone. This is going to help us to perform a wireless control and a wireless shooting from the iPhone itself. Press the menu button, we can go to the third tab here, which is Network 1. And then go down to Smartphone Connect. As you can see, I already turned this on. If you haven't already, please turn it on. And or else you can just leave it as that. And we press on the connections. So now we are ready to connect to our smartphone. As you can see here, I already connected my ZV-E10 here. If you haven't already, you can press the camera connection to register your Sony ZV-E10 by scanning the QR code as well. And from here, we can start recording. Yep, right now we are in here and we can press the remote shooting mode. Remote shooting. As you can see, it is quite buggy. It is not a perfect app, but it is a tool that you can use. Okay, so after a few minutes, now we are ready to go to shoot some portrait. You see, zoom in, it will follow. Okay, now let's perform a shooting. So now we're gonna set our ZV-E10 on the tripod. So usually for portrait, I like to use a vertical shooting mode, like this. Have a perfect angle. Yep, adjust your angle. So press the function button. Usually what I like to use is aperture priority mode. So in this way, we can just adjust our aperture and the camera will do everything on itself. The ISO and the shutter speed will be automatically adjusted by the camera itself. For file format, I would suggest to use RAW, but also you can use JPEG. So if we are using RAW, we will need to post-process it later on an application like Adobe Lightroom. So I use RAW because I will enjoy all the flexibility to edit the photos. I can preserve the highlight and the shadows. So focus mode, it is alright, just leave it as it is. And yep, steady shot. So this is basically just a very simple adjustment lah. As you can see, the creative style, right? So this is actually irrelevant if you are shooting RAW, but it will affect your image if you are using JPEG, because these settings will burn into your image if you are using JPEG. But if you are using RAW, it doesn't affect it at all. The setup is easy. Just remember, you need to use your smartphone to connect to the ZV-E10 Wi-Fi. Okay, so now I am inside to perform remote shooting, as you can see from here. Alright, so let's find a good angle. Setting it up alone really does take up some time. I will also suggest you guys to turn on the timer. Yes, it is important to turn on timer. Just put it at 5 seconds or 2 seconds, up to you. So we are now ready to take a portrait. This is gonna be 16mm. Let's try. Okay, we got our first photo. And how do you guys think about the photos? I can still adjust my hair with the live screen here from my smartphone. So after I click the button, I can put my phone on the pocket. But normally 60mm it's not so ideal for a portrait. Let's try to zoom in. So we are going to use the sun here. And let's take a photo once more. Usually what I like to do is to place the eye at the same level on the first rule of third. Like here, this is actually my eyes on the first line of the rule of third. When we are looking at the photos, right, the first thing we'll see is the top of my eye. If it's going to be a full photo as well, the line, the first rule of third, should touch my eyes. So it will be much more balanced. let us try to take zoom in portrait photos. We're gonna try 24mm first. What I like to do is to place my eye on the first rule of third, press the record button. So we are ready to shoot. So now I have 5 seconds to pose myself. So we can quickly go on to the photos and check, is it looking good? I think it looks good. It looks good. So going back to the remote shooting. And what I'm seeing here is the angle is quite tilting up. I need to tilt back down to balance the horizon. Alright, so right now it's 35mm. I still don't like it because the line is still not up. So we need to lift up our camera. I need to make it going up. And let's check again. Yep, that's about it. That's it, yep. So this is what I call a perfect angle for a self-portrait 35mm, which is equivalent to 50mm full frame equivalent. So let's get it. It is also important to dress nicely, so your photo will look good, at least the person itself is good. But because for male, usually the pose is just really simple. First, put your hand in the pockets like this. Second, put your hand like this, crossing your arm. The third, just standing still like this. It's up to you, whichever that you like. Now we are going to zoom into 50mm, which is also 75mm. Because of the bokeh, it is at actually 5.6. My background looks like it is blending with me because I'm wearing black here. Maybe I need to put myself in a different angles. Like my background, I need to change it. I need to change my background to the swimming pool maybe. You guys could be able to see it, right? Yep, like this. It will actually complement much more, and you can see the contrast of black and white. So I will pop up more from the background. Facing towards the camera, slightly bent towards 45 degrees. Look at the camera, start shooting. I think it looks okay. It looks okay. Just my shirt, it's not nicely tucked. Simple way to use and utilize the rule of third to help you guys to achieve a good angle when you are performing a self-portrait, because it is actually quite difficult to keep adjust here and there. Let's also try out the 35mm f1.8 OSS lens. This is a good portrait lens for the ZV-E10. Change lens. So like I have said, once you have connected, it is super easy to get back inside for remote shooting. See? This time we are going to shoot f1.8. Let's change the f1.8. What if we are shooting a backlight? How worse can it be for the photo quality? We are shooting against the light. So let's try f1.8, how it looks like. See, posing is simple and creating the photo is also quite simple. I think it looks quite good. It looks quite good, guys. I'm happy for this result. Yep. So as you can see, shooting a self-portrait with the ZV-E10, your smartphone, is not that difficult. You just need to be patient, spend your first 15 minutes to set it up, to connect it, and you are good to go. And also I forget to mention at the beginning, one important factor that decide whether your photo is going to be good or bad quality is, yep, throughout my video I've been using it, which is the sunlight. The direction of sunlight could really impact your photo qualities. If you doesn't have your sunlight exposing to your face, it could look grainy, it could look dark, it could look not so motivating. The sun is actually going down, it's going to be dark soon, so the light coming through of it is quite soft and it is quite nice to use. Timing of the day is also important. If you're outdoor, try to shoot in the morning like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Try to avoid harsh sunlight when it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because it is quite difficult to achieve a good soft lighting unless you have the capacity to set up a reflector to set up something to soften your light, such as the diffusion. The direction of the sunlight is really the key to achieve a good self-portrait photos. You can see now I have the sun on my right side, the sun coming through here, and you can see here is actually a little bit of shadow. This is what we call a depth. When we had a depth like this, a shadow, a highlight, it will motivate the image to make the image more interesting as compared to an evenly lightened up face, which could be boring, or a really bright sunlight directly hits towards me. Yeah, it could be really boring and harsh, and the picture just look flat. Okay guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.